Hi everyone, it's Kino here. Welcome to this asana exploration practice that is all about how to safely and effectively learn to do the splits from a technical and anatomical perspective. Even if you thought you could never do the splits, this class is totally for you. And I want to invite you to become a subscriber to my YouTube channel right here. Like and comment on this video and let me know how your splits went. I've got 2 blocks and a bolster and a strap, and we'll be using those in this class today. So when you're ready, come to a comfortable seated position and close the eyes. As you exhale, let's softly open the eyes, and let's begin on our hands and knees. So to understand the anatomy of the splits, the first thing we need to work on is a hip extension. So let's begin with cat and cow to recruit a little bit of flexibility in the spine, and then we'll turn that over to the hips. Inhale, extend the spine, a long, deep breath in. Exhale, round the back and draw the navel in. Inhale again, a long, deep breath in. Exhale, round and draw the navel in. Last one. Inhale, extend a long, deep breath in. Exhale, it's round and under. Back to neutral position. Good. Now I want you to include hip extension in the movement. So we're going to extend your right leg back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Now we're going to add in the arm. Left arm to the right leg. Exhale, let's just touch the knee just to give it a little conclusion there. Inhale, extend. And so it's more bendy than bird dog. Exhale, touch. Maybe it's a bendy bird dog. Inhale, extends, and touch. One more, I want you to hold it here and give me a straight leg and little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then put the hand down and now only the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold it up and maximize the hip extension. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's set it down around the back. You might notice your hamstring was working there. That's okay. Now, inhale, extend the left hip, exhale down. Inhale, left hip, exhale down. Bring the right arm and touch. And we go that bendy bird dog and touch. Bendy bird dog and touch. Hold it out. Little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the hand down and leg only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it down. Good job. Round the back. Woo. Good. Now, should I curl your toes under? Let's say hello to downward facing dog. All right, let's bend the knees. Feel your ankles for a moment. Get a little bend in the ankles. Then straighten the legs. We'll stay here 5 breaths. 1, 2, steady breath. 3, draw the navel in. 4, 5. Let's walk in, take Padangusthasana, still working on our forward bend. Inhale, straight arms. Exhale, fold. All right, 1, 2, the navel is in, deep breaths. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, straight arms. Exhale there. I want you to bend the knees. Let's reach over and grab both those yoga blocks. We're going to slide both of them over. And then place your hands, heels of the hands on the blocks. Bring the feet together. Now, inhale, bring your right leg back. And I want you to kick it back and up. Exhale, down. Inhale, back and up. So we're doing it like an extended variation of Warrior 3. Back and up. Exhale down. Last one, back and up, and I want you to hold it up as high as you can. 1, use the blocks for balance and kind of lean back a little bit. 2, so get into the left hamstring a little bit. 3, 4, we're almost there. 5, exhale, put it down. Good, let's forward fold. Nice. Inhale, come up, back to the blocks. All right, inhale, back and up. Exhale, down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale down. Last one, hold. Reach it back and try to get into that right hamstring a little bit. That's good. 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was kind of intense. Exhale, let's forward fold. Good job. Stay there for a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right, now let's turn the blocks so that they're shoulder width apart. Take the hands on the blocks. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Now, let's come off the blocks just for a moment because it's a slightly better grip. Then I'd like you to go for the three-legged dog, and let's first keep the hip closed. Then I would like you to open the hip and reach the leg. Nice. Now, look forward. Exhale, put it down. Now we switch the legs. Inhale, left leg, keep it closed. Then open the hip and reach. Look forward and exhale, put it down. There's a reason I want you to look forward because now let's go onto the blocks. Inhale, reach it up, open the hip, look forward, press into the shoulders, step all the way forward and then sink that left knee down. Anjaneyasana is going to be one of your biggest friends when we're working towards the splits. So now, let's turn the blocks up to the tower position. And I like to do Anjaneyasana as kind of an extended lunge, so rather than a shortened version of the posture. So rather than here, taking the foot quite far forward so that the pelvis can drop closer to the ground, that's going to get your body more in the position that's required for the split. So we'll hold for 5. We have 1, 2, feel your pelvis. What is the pelvis doing while we're here? 3, 4, and 5. Now curl the left toes under and then exhale. We're going to do a half split. So now we work on the forward bend element. 2, 3, 4, and switch back to Anjaneyasana. Now we're going to do a little extra. So we come off of the blocks, holding onto the sacrum and the lower abdomen, and then I want you to tuck the tailbone, which lifts you out of the pose, and then release the tailbone. All right, that's going to bring you down a little deeper. Good. Stay there breathing. 2, 3. Now we can lift the chest. If it's comfortable for you, you can switch the gaze up. 3, try to lift the ribs away from the hips. 4, and 5. Switch the gaze down, turn the blocks, and inhale all the way back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Lift the left leg up to the three-legged dog. Look forward, step all the way forward, and exhale, right knee down. All right, let's turn it up. Good. Now, take a moment, we point the foot, that helps drop into the right hip, and we stay here for 1. Think down, but don't force it. 2, any pressure in the knee, just put a little pillow underneath it. 4, almost there. 5, let's curl the right toes. Exhale, half split, stay. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's do it again. Now remember the little extra. We're going to hold on. Tuck, that brings you out of it. So we kind of do the opposite motion for a moment. And then exhale, release. And that brings you a little deeper down. So you want to feel the weight of the pelvis reaching towards the ground. That's going to help open the hips for the split. So we have the hip extension and the forward fold, which are seemingly opposite directions, which is why this is challenging. Then lift the ribs away from the hips, and if it's comfortable, gaze lightly up for 2, 3, keep expanding, 4, and 5. Good job. Turn the blocks. Then curl the right toes under. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. All right, now pigeon pose. We're going to slide forward. So this is our closed knee pigeon, and we're going to keep the knee closed because we're not focusing on this hip, but instead we're focusing on the back hip. So what I want you to do now is move your blocks a little out of the way. We'll use them again in a moment. All right. Now, roll a little into the left hip, then roll a little into the right hip. Roll a little into the left hip. Good. Roll a little into the right hip. One more time. Roll a little into the left hip. Good. Back to the center. Now, we're going to use that strap. Find your strap. Let's turn it into like a lasso. That came out kind of pretty. And I want you to reach it back and then lasso the foot. All right, you got the foot. Then squeeze, bring it forward. And we're just trying to release the left quadriceps and really pull forward until you feel the left quadricep. Let's just hang out there. And we have two. Some of you might not need the strap. If you're going to do it without the strap, you can just hold your foot and keep it there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go. All right, now let's come up onto the fingertips. If it's difficult for you, you're going to be sitting on the blocks, or you could even sit on the bolster. I wanted to save that for the split, but you could do it now also. Hold for 2 breaths. So we have 1. We're like almost in a split. We just need to add the forward bend, and we'd be there. 1 more breath. Good job. Now curl your left toes under and inhale, downward facing dog. All right. Look forward, slide forward. We're getting those components. This is our closed knee pigeon. Now remember what we did? We rocked that pigeon back and forth. So we're going to go into the hip, over to the side, into the hip, over to the side. There's a couple of different ways you can do the side, right? So you want to feel what feels good for you. Over to the side. Now settle. Stay in the settle for a moment. We're not going to fold forward because we want to maximize that hip extension. We're not doing this for this hip, but for the other. So inhale, we bring it up. We want to lasso the foot. Let's get the block ready. And the block, this is not the block, the strap ready. Reach back, lasso your foot, and then give it a little tug. And you could stop there, and maybe even up here. This is kind of like a nice friendly way to hold onto your foot. Some of you might not need the strap, or you might reach back and think, there's my foot. And oof, my quadriceps is extremely tight. And if yours is extremely tight as well, then we close the eyes, we accept and breathe. 1, 2, don't damage the knee. We're working the quadriceps. 3, it's better to do less every day than one day too hard. 3, did I say that already? Maybe so. 4, 5. Ooh, let's let that go. Oh, goodness. Why are we stretching the quadricep? Because your quadricep is like your magic key to hip extension. It's going to give you a little more space in the front body when it's open. And if it's closed, it's going to steal space away from your hips. All right, let's curl those right toes under. Inhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, downward facing dog. Feels good after that. Look over towards your bolster. Now, I want you to slide that bolster in. Grab it by the side and slide it on in. Okay, we're going to sit on that in kind of a little awkward way. So I want you to step your right foot over, and you're going to plant your pelvis right on top of that bolster. Ooh, all right. Almost took everything off there. So let's come on back, and you can see I'm doing kind of Anjaneyasana with the bolster, which is allowing a little bit more sort of dropped feeling in the pelvis. We're going to reach down for the blocks as well. So let's situate the blocks forward. And now, I want you to pick yourself up a little bit so that the very center of the pelvis, kind of the pubic bone, is right on the bolster, and then straighten the legs. All right. And we're straightening as much as we can, and we just hold that for 5. And we have 1, 2, and so since you're on the bolster, I would like you to pull your left side of the pelvis forward. That increases the hip extension a little bit. 3, 4, and 5, then relax. So we kind of soften the left knee down for a moment, press into the blocks, bend the right knee, and see if you can pick it up. Then we may need to come up again to switch the sides, right? Take a moment there, right? Point the foot, right? And if we need to start off with a bent knee, we can, and just stay there. Otherwise, we straighten, press, situate yourself well. So we're going to pull the right side of the pelvis forward and just hold. We have 1, 2, that's good. 3, Easy does it. 4. Almost there. And one more breath. One more breath. 5. Let it go. Oof. Okay, press up onto the blocks. And then let's actually just scoot the bolster away. Scoot it over to the side. And pressing up onto the blocks, bend the knee back. And let's take child's pose for a moment. Let's let it rest. After this, we have one more peak movement, and it is going to be the splits. Let's bring it on up. Okay, hands on the blocks. Come up to like a little perch, and then slide that right knee forward. Now, remember that feeling of the bolster down between the hips. So I want you to settle down and get that feeling of, okay, there we are, and straighten the legs as much as you can. Maybe you're not all the way down like I am. That's okay. You're going to use the blocks and then press. So now hold yourself up. Now this is the strength. Grip the floor with your legs and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, release. Good. Again, grip the floor with your legs. Hold. 2, 3, 4, and release. All right, let's stay. 1. If it's comfortable for you, extend the arms. 3, keep gripping the floor with the legs. 4, palms together. 5, exhale down. Ooh, press and bring it back. All right, now let's switch the sides. Little up to a perch, step it forward. Now some of you are going to be with both knees bent. If that's happening, I would like you to immediately press up into the blocks and then see if you can lower down. If you cannot lower down as much as you can. If you prefer to do this also with your bolster, that's totally fine. Now let's work the strength. Squeeze the floor with your legs. 1. You can do it. 2. Squeeze, squeeze. 3, 4, and 5. Exhale down. When you go down, you do not collapse the back. Lift the back because the back is participating. We have a little bit of back bend action happening. All right, let's squeeze again. Press and squeeze. We got 1, 2, 3. Yes, you can. Stay. 4 and 5. Exhale down. All right, you want to try without the blocks? You can move those over to the side. Then pressing into the floor, give that little bit of a bounce in the hips, and then lift the ribs away from the hips, extend the arms, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost there, 5. Now, you can come out, but I want to show you something. It's very common for people to do the splits like this, with all the weight in their forward bend leg, and then the back hip kind of either bent or out of alignment. So the hips don't need to be completely square to do a good split, but we do want to have weight evenly distributed. So I would rather have you a little higher with the weight evenly distributed rather than down, kind of half out of the posture, all right? So you're going to think about using the block or using your hands or finding the way to work so that there is an even distribution of weight between one leg and the other leg. Make sense? All right, let's close that knee joint. Tie a bow on it with our friend plank. Nice plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Then let's come to the knees. And exhale, child's pose. Draw it in child's pose here. 2, 3, let the back muscles release. 4, and 5. Nice. Cross your feet. Exhale, sit down. Extend the arms. Tips of the index fingers touching. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands in prayer. A long, deep breath in. As you exhale, softly open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be filled with love.